The third and final letter of the podcast episode is from a female who is from New Mexico. She writes, Dear Jessica, my boyfriend of 6 years told me he does not want to marry me, but wants me to be the mother of his children. I do not want to have kids out of wedlock, and when I told him this, he freaked out and refused to hear my side. Lately, he has been trying to manipulate my birth control pills, as well as the condoms that we use. What should I do? Run, female from New Mexico, run. Run as fast as you can, bitch. Run. No. All joking aside, yes, run. First off, it sounds like you guys have been together for a while, and he doesn't want to be married. And 9 times out of 10, when they don't want to be married, they usually have some commitment issues. So I would ask you to ask yourself, has he cheated on you before? And if he's cheated on you before and he wants to get you pregnant, that's what us ladies like to call a trap, because he knows he's a dog-ass person. He knows that he will probably slip up and cheat on you again, and you having his baby means that he will still have some kind of connection with you. Don't mean he wants that baby. It just means that he can always keep his tabs on you. And when he thinks you having a good, happy ever after, because you may meet the man of your dreams after you drop this loser. You know what I'm saying? You meet the man of your dreams, and up he accepts your kid and you, and up here comes this loser. Yep, I used to be with her, and I'm going to ruin this for you. Okay? So always remember that. So if that's not the case, if he's not a cheater, a known cheater, and he wants to have children with you, but he does not want to get married, then there may be something in his past. It may be that his parents got married and had a horrible marriage, and he realizes that sometimes marriages don't work out, and it's freaked him out. And so he would rather not ruin a good thing, but he still wants to have the family aspect of it, right? But I just want to say, I totally get where you're coming from. I do not have kids because I refuse to have kids with somebody that is not investing in my future. When you get married to somebody, engaged with somebody, that in itself is an investment. It is an emotional investment. It is a mental investment. It is a spiritual investment. And I don't think a lot of people get that. I think people are in this thing where if we get married, then I own you and you own me. And it's not that. It's an investment. It's an investment of your time, your love. It's an investment. And the more you put into that, the more you will get out of it. So if you put a lot of negative into that, or you put a lot of baggage into that, you're going to get the results of that, right? So you always have to remember that. But the fact that he does not want to even hear your side of it is a red flag for me. The fact that he freaked out when you said no is telling me that maybe you are not being vocal enough in this relationship. You may need to start using your voice a little louder so that he can hear you. And sometimes what you'll find when you start using your voice a little louder, I'm not saying be ghetto or crazy and nigga I said da da da, none of that. All I'm saying is make sure that your yes is a yes and that your no is a no. And when you do that and you stand your ground, you will find that men will either be intimidated by that and they'll back off and go, wait, I can't even do this with her. Or they do the opposite and they're like, well, I can't do this with her and I want to do this with her, so let me get my shit together, right? So that's where you're at with this, is he's doing that. And then on top of that, the other red flag is he doesn't want to listen to it, but he's manipulating your birth control. That I have a huge problem with, because that's showing an abusive behavior. It's showing manipulative behavior, and it's showing scheming behavior. Do you want to be with a man that does that, where when you have said no, he's still going to make you say yes? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know you're like, well, Jessica, he ain't hit me and he don't talk crazy to me. But the fact that he would even mess with your choice, because this is your body, this is your choice. He not going to carry that baby for 9 months. He not going to have to push that baby out. He not going to have to get a needle stuck in his spinal cord so your legs go numb so you can push the baby out. You know what I'm saying? Or worse, let's say the baby isn't the way that it's supposed to be and you got to get a cesarean, which means they cut your from pelvis to pelvis. And then you got to, for 6 to 10 weeks, be walking around with about 60 stitches in your stomach. Then on top of that, the hormones that imbalance it, you don't feel like yourself until a year after, right? So, he doesn't understand that. So for me personally, I would not stay in this relationship. I would go ahead and move on out very calmly, cool, and collective, because just from what we've said about you saying, no, I don't want to have kids, can you imagine what he would say if you broke up with him? So just be very mindful and be very careful that if you do decide to break it off with him, be very careful with it and make sure that you are safe, that you're doing it in a safe way, because these are red flags. This does not mean that he loves you. And I know a lot of women equate abuse with love. They equate control with love, but this isn't love. This is abuse. This is borderline control, because anybody who will manipulate a condom, anybody who will manipulate birth control, that is a serious problem for me and for anybody else. And I'm really sorry that you are having to go through this, but hopefully after 6 years, you get to see this person for who they are. And I'm going to be honest, if you've been with this person for 6 years and you still don't know why he doesn't want to marry you, maybe it's time to move on. And there's nothing wrong with moving on, but let's make sure that we're not scared and that we're not just staying in this relationship because of fear of what he will do to you or fear that you won't make it without him, because I promise you, you're going to make it without him. The whole reason God created a woman was to help out a man. It's not vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's not the other way around. We are men's helpmates, meaning that they didn't know what they was doing. We had to organize it for them. Like, yeah, these lions are nice, but let's categorize lions, and then we'll categorize tigers, and then we'll categorize felines. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that you are a woman, that you are made phenomenally, and that no matter what choice you make, it's your choice alone. But I hope that you make a safe choice. I hope that you make the right choice, and I hope that you make sure that you're strong enough to stand in that choice. Don't ever let nobody talk you back off your choice. Because if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids. If you don't want to be with him no more, you don't want to be with him no more. If that means you got to change your phone number, change your phone number. If that means you got to go to the doctor and say, Doc, I can't do the pills no more, I'm going to need you to hit me up with the shot, then do the shot. But make sure that you are doing this for your own peace of mind, right? Because there's nothing worse than realizing that you're in a controlling, abusive relationship and trying to get out of it, and you're still not able to. So I just want to make sure that you realize that there are resources for you and that you can do this, okay? So thank you so much for writing the letter, and please let me know how it goes.